Hi guys, I'm sorry I'm not here to be with you today. I wanted to take you through a couple of steps of order of operations. So get out your note packets, and this is going to be the next few things in your notes. So we're going to start with the integers in order of operations. And notice that there's absolute value in here too. Absolute value actually uses a grouping symbol, so it's kind of like a parentheses. So we're going to go ahead and start working through 3 times, and I'm going to do that 4 minus 9, which is like a parentheses, by itself. So 4 minus 9 would actually be a negative 5. But since it's in the absolute value signs, it becomes a positive 5. And then we're going to go ahead and do the bottom since there's another set of parentheses down there. So that's going to be 12 divided by, and 1 minus 5 would be a negative 4. Okay, so now when I have something that's written as a fraction, I need to solve everything on the top and everything on the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and put parentheses around them. So then I end up with 15 over, it would be a negative 3, which I can divide out, and I get a negative 5. Okay, if I'm working on the next problem, whenever I have 2 sets of parentheses, I do the innermost set of parentheses first. So I do 2 minus 7, which would be a negative 5. Okay, so now I'm going to rewrite this. So I have 8 minus 4, and then that's going to be plus a negative 5 squared. Okay, so my negative, and the 4, that's all in parentheses there. So I need to do my negative 5 squared first. Well, negative 5 times negative 5 is actually a positive 25. So I'm going to have 8 minus, and then in parentheses, 4 plus 25. Okay, so now that becomes 8 minus 29, which would give me a negative 21. Remember, we're going to have lots of negative and positive numbers, and that's okay. It's just not as easy to work with. Okay, so the next problem on here is below it, and again, I've got sets of parentheses, so I'm going to do those first. So I'm going to rewrite everything. So I've got negative 4, and then I've got that multiplied by 6, and then that's going to be squared, divided by 6, minus, and then it's going to be, in parentheses, 47. Okay, so now I've gotten rid of all my parentheses, but I have exponents, so that's going to be my next step. So a negative 4 times 36 divided by 6 minus 47. And I went ahead and just got rid of the parentheses there. That's not a big deal. So then I need to do a negative 4. I need to multiply and divide from left to right. So I know that 36 times 4, if I think 4 times 30, that's a negative 120, and 6 times 4 is 24. So then 120 and 24 gives me 144. So that's a negative 144 divided by 6 minus 47. And so I want to divide by 6 next. And so notice that this is a negative. So a 144 divided by 6 gives me a negative 24 minus 47. Since they're both negative, you can actually tick, tick. And so you're adding a negative. So I have a negative 24 plus a negative 47, which gives me a negative 71. Remember, you add those two together. Okay, moving on. Now we're going to evaluate. So I think it's easier if you kind of look at it this way and you go ahead and circle off this x equals, because I think it's confusing the way it's written. So all I'm doing is plugging in. So I just have 3 times 9, which in this case is 27. I have 4 times a negative 7 minus 10. So now I have to do a little more solving. So 4 times a negative 7 is a negative 28 minus 10 would be a negative 38. Okay? And finally, change color here, I'm going to plug in my 3. So I've got in parentheses 3 cubed minus 5, and then divide by 4. So 3 cubed is going to be 9, and so 9 minus 5 is going to be 4. 4 divided by 4 is equal to 1. Moving on, again, if this is going too fast, you can stop every time you need to. I'm going to do the same thing here, except there's going to be a little bit more to plug in. So I'm going to do 0.5 times 12 times a negative 3. Well, half of 12 is 6, so that becomes 6 times a negative 3, which is a negative 18. Okay, remember, you're just moving left to right here. So let's plug in here. So I've got b is negative 3. A is 12, and then minus 6. I have to do my parentheses first, so 12 minus 6 is 6, so negative 3 times 6 gives me a negative 18. What? That's the same answer. Okay, and then we're going to move on to 6 times 12 on the top. And it's going to be A, which is 12. Ooh, this one's tricky. Minus a negative 3. Okay, so be careful with this. So 6 times 12 is 72. And then on the bottom, we're actually going to tick that. So then that's going to be 15. Okay, so this isn't going to work out evenly. So we can leave it as an improper fraction. We could turn it into a mixed number. That would be 30, 60, that's 4, and 12/15, which we can actually go down even farther and make that equal to 4 divided by 3, which would be 4/5. Okay. All right. You are going to do some more practice in Google Classroom now. So I want you to go to your Google Classroom, and there is a game that is linked there. I want you to win the $1 million or the $100 or whatever it is on there. And then you're going to have your homework as well. Have a great day.